Hey mini enthusiasts, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in and welcome back. This is part 2 of the radius arm replacement on PIIIOW, my Rover Mini Cooper Sport 5. And I won't bother talking you through stripping down the radius arm on this side because you'd have already seen that in part 1. I think we'll just carry on as it is until we come across something interesting, which I'm sure we will.
Well guys, we're in a whole world of trouble here, I think. So this bolt come out all right. That bolt, I'm pretty sure it's going to snap the same as the other side, because it just feels like it's stretching when you undo it. This top bolt undone, or started to undo, but I don't think that's undone. I think the captive nut is spinning in the actual subframe, and this bottom bolt broke. So not good news, because I think that means I'm going to be taking the subframe out. Damn, didn't want to have to do that, but I'll carry on. But as I say, that's going to snap. That one's not a problem. This bottom one snapped. That is a problem. And this top one, I'm sure the captive nut's just spinning. So let's carry on, see how we get on. Well, this just turned into a much more difficult job. That one's definitely spinning. That bottom one snapped. Yeah, I am not happy. Right, so what was a relatively simple job has got a bit more complicated now. Looks like we're going to have to take the rear subframe out. And yeah, this could escalate from here on in. So we're taking it out because of a couple of broken bolts in the radius arm mounting brackets. I don't think you can't do anything with them without taking the subframe out. Might end up being a new subframe as well. And I've just got to hope now that the subframe mounting bolts don't break where they go through the heel board, because they're quite prone to breaking. Fingers crossed. Right, here we go. This could be turn into an even more of a disaster now. We've got to take out the subframe bolts. I have already had this top one out. It come out all right. I just sprayed loads of WD-40 in there, and I've let that soak for sort of 20 minutes. Just so hopefully that will drip down onto the bottom bolt. So I know the top one's all right. What we might actually do, I'll leave the top one tight while I take the bottom one out. So fingers crossed. If this snaps, it's not a good day. It's not feeling good. I'm going to soak that again with WD-40, give it a little bit longer, and I'll go and try the other side, I think. Oh no. Oh dear. Really not happy. The only good thing is it's not snapped off flush. Oh. So I might have half a chance. Maybe I can heat it up with a subframe out of the way. Oh well. The joys of owning a Mini. Or any classic car, actually. Alright, we'll just put that one back in for the moment. So now we've got to take the battery cable out. We've got to blank off this metal brake pipe here. Then it's just the subframe mounting bolts. Well guys, plan A didn't work, so we will move swiftly on to plan B. So we're just going to take it off, fit a bit of rubber pipe over the union. So a quick bit of detail before I forget, the fuel tank's pretty easy to take out. If you're not taking it out completely and you're just pulling it to the side like this, it's very easy. So it's fuel cap off, 13mm bolt which goes through a captive nut inside there. Just undo it and then just wiggle the tank out sideways, and providing you're not going very far, which we're not, we can just about get to the subframe bolts through there. So that's about as much as we need to take apart on that. Right, so that's the subframe out. Really hoping I can save this subframe because, yeah, 400 odd pound, and it needs to be a sports pack one with a strengthening in it. It has additional sort of strengthening up. I think it's a strengthener or a bump stop up inside there. But on the subframe, so this is the bolt we got the problem with, and obviously the snap bolt at the bottom, that's not going to be a problem. That one is, and then there's the bolt which is broken that goes through the heel board, but we'll address that in a moment. I was just looking at that and I was thinking to myself, I'm sure you can get to the back of the nut. But when you look at it, it doesn't look like you can, but just from experience, there is a bit of tape on the back here. A bit of tape obviously just stops moisture getting in there. And then you look inside, you can see the bottom bolt there, and the top one should be just about visible as well. That top one's spinning, so leave it with me and I'll be back in a moment. Should be able to get them out. As always, doesn't look like it's going to be quite as simple as I thought, because the bolt is shielded by, sorry, the captive nut is shielded by this main bolt that goes through there. You can't get that out without getting the radius arm out, so I think I'll just cut the head off this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that escalated quickly, didn't it? What was just going to be a couple of simple radius arm refurbishments, new pins, new bushes, has turned into a lot more. There's some positives to be taken out of this, believe it or not. So I wasn't sure about the heel board on the car, but now the subframe's out, I've had a good look at it and it's pretty solid. So there's no holes anywhere. I've scraped off some of the rust already, and it's just surface rust. So nothing to worry about there, that's good. These two bolt holes are fine this side. I'm not 100% out the woods yet. Let me show you. So over this side, I've still got the broken bolt there, but the good news is we've got a little bit of thread sticking out to play with. And again, heel board this side, it's all solid. So, but it does get worse, unfortunately, so bear with me. So this is the subframe out. I was well aware someone has patched one of the corners in the past. This side, in fact, it don't look bad at all actually. That side looked fine, but don't like the fact that it's a subframe that's been patched. So moving on to the other side, this side looked a bit rustier, and oh my god, look at that. That's it really. That's written off that subframe. There's no repairing that. That's just had a really crap repair done on it in the past. Shouldn't really be repairing subframes anyway, not welding them up anyway. So I'm gonna have to try and get hold of an MPI Sports Pack subframe. That ain't gonna be cheap, I'm sure about 450 quid. So I could do without that now. In fact, I've got to do without it. I can't afford that at the moment. It will have to wait, but I've got plenty to get on with anyway. So that's me kind of signing out for the moment. Proper peed off, not happy. Oh well. That's mini ownership.